الحمد لله وكفى والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions something in between the advices. So Sayyidina Luqman alayhi salam was giving advices to his son, that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was mentioning. وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانَ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. And then after mentioning that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He brought something up that was not the part of the advice that He was giving to his son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ, that we commanded man, a human being, to be good in respect to their parents, of his parents. حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ أَنِ اشْكُرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيْكَ إِلَيَّ الْمَصِيرُ. That his mother, he carried him in her womb despite weakness upon weakness, and then she fed him for 2 years. His weaning is in 2 years. And then we said to the man, be grateful to me again and to your parents. وَإِلَيَّ الْمَصِيرُ, and to me is your return. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He spoke about the shirk, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we often see in the Quran, that He has many times mentioned the importance of the parents after Him. Why is that? There are reasons for that. One reason is that parents Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a lot of qualities to the parents that are very much like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them from His attributes. For example, the parents becomes the source of people coming into this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates them, but parents becomes the means. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes care of the people, but then also the parents also take care of the kids. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ar-Raziq, He is the provider, He gives the food, He gives the provision, but the parents becomes the means. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants that because these parents do so many things to you that are very much like my attributes, you take care of them after giving me my due rights. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned, after He mentioned this wasiyah of Sayyidina Luqman alayhi salam to his son about not associating a partner with Allah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again mentions that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded man to be good to their parents. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the reasons. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't have to mention any reason, but whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions some reason in the Quran, it is to put some more power behind His command. Because this intellect that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, it always thinks, and it always tries to find reasons for that. And in many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't give reasons. Sometimes when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does, that means that it is something of great importance. That people, I'm giving you a command, if you want to understand the logic behind that, and also understand the logic behind it. But no, that after getting this logic, then you have no choice not to act on that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that one of the reasons is حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ, that his mother, she carried him or her in her womb. Despite the fact that it was very difficult for her. 9 months. Every single day that passes by, the more the baby grows, it increases the weakness of the mother. It becomes burdensome for the mother to carry the baby. Just imagine. You carry a weight, even if it's like 5 kilos, you carry it all the time. Like for 9 months, try it. You cannot. Nobody can. It is, subhanAllah, you have to think about this, that what a great task that a mother does, that she carries the baby in her womb for 9 months, and every single day it's increasing in the weight. Every single day it has more demands. Initially it doesn't need any food, then it comes a time when it starts breathing, the heart starts pumping, and it starts getting all the food extracting from the mother. It only increases in the weakness of the mother. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appreciates that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَفِصَالُهُ حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ, that his mother, she carried him in her womb, despite weakness upon weakness. Every single day that passed by, it only increased in her weakness. And then he said subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And then, not only that, she carried him in her womb for 9 months, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't mention it here, but then the childbirth process, subhanallah, such a painful process. It's only a woman who can do that. Men, they do not have this courage. Men are very weak, by the way, spiritually. Really, I see in my home, my wife gets sick, mashallah, she is still doing energetic, doing all the household work. I get little flu, I'm in the bed. Please get me soup. I feel like drinking soup, and she's cooking soup for me. Mashallah, may Allah give her reward. But, man is weak. The husband is like another baby of the wife. Really. And people are married to know it. And the childbirth process is a very tough process. Especially like now there are all of these that inject and this and that, and I was told that there was another thing, I can't remember exactly. They hypnotize. What is that? Does anybody know? They hypnotize, and she can't even think properly. She goes out of her senses, and she doesn't feel any pain. But naturally, it is the case. It's a very painful process, right? So, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it doesn't end there. وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And then she feeds the baby for 2 years. It's not a ruling that you have to feed baby for 2 years. It's between the husband and the wife. They can consult and whatever the medical circumstances and all of that. But normally, the baby, she takes the feed from the mother for 2 years. And people who have babies, subhanAllah, when baby is middle of the night, it's middle of the day, she is tired, she is sick, she is whatever. Baby cries and she is ready to feed him. Allahu Akbar. SubhanAllah. Just imagine, we are sleeping at night, or, somebody, opens the door with force and there is a noise and we are screaming. Who is there? You don't know I'm sleeping. And she doesn't even care. Baby cries, she gets up right there and then, feeds the baby. It's not that, that then baby will sleep and she will sleep. She has to also do her responsibilities for Allah. It's time for Fajr, even though she just slept like an hour ago, she will get up for Fajr. And then again, she sleeps with the baby, gets up with the baby, and prays and, does household work and all of that. Imagine. I fail to recognize how can husbands, they can be rude to their wives. They should be thankful to them. This is ihsan. It's not only her baby, it's also his baby. And then people, they come back, their husbands, and after work, where's the food? You didn't give me food on time. Come on, poor wife. People don't even reflect on what she was doing all day. As he was just, relaxing, and they didn't prepare food for him. Subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appreciates that in the Quran. فَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَنِشْكُرْ لِي. And I said to the man, be grateful to me. And that's already mentioned in the beginning that we mentioned that. وَلِوَالِدَيْكَ. Also be grateful to your parents. Also be grateful to your parents because they do what I have made them responsible for. The father who goes every morning to go and earn for whom? For you. He is like when you are sick, he's there. He takes you to hospital, provides you with medicine. Always, if you cannot sleep, you have your temperature, you have fever, he doesn't sleep at night. He's always worried. And so is the mother. And mother is like, of course, what more than that? That's why the paradise is in the feet of the mother. Why is that? Because mother, she, like, subhanAllah, the sacrifices that she makes for the baby, just this thing, the birth, the carrying, the birth, and feeding. This is enough. If she doesn't do any single thing after that all her life, every single one of us, we cannot give her favors back to her. There's no way. His mother got sick, she became special and she lost her limbs, so he took his mother to Kaaba for Hajj, put his mother on his shoulders and did tawaf. So then after he did that, went all over the Hajj by doing that, putting his mother over his shoulders. After that he said, he asked somebody, did I give the rights back to my mother? He said that you didn't even given her rights back for the moment that she gave birth to you. Just forget about all the other favors she has done to you. Just imagine the childbirth processes. Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, be grateful to your parents as well. Subhanallah, it's not shirk. People say, you get up in respect of somebody, some pious person comes in, and there are some people, don't know adab. Don't stand up for it. It's shirk. Why are you giving respect to that person? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants that some people be respected. Once there was a funeral that was passing by in front of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet stood up in respect, in honor. The Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they thought Prophet doesn't know who this is. They said, Prophet of Allah, this is a Jew. Prophet sallallahu said, so what? Wasn't he a human being? And he was standing up in honor of a dead Jew, and then people stand up in honor of a live Muslim, and people say, oh, he's shirk. People don't understand. It's like this wulu. It's like lack of understanding of deen. There's no tafaqqah of deen anymore. It's a fitna of our time, unfortunately. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, be thankful to your parents. And amongst the parents, as we all know, the mother has 3 degrees over the father. From that hadith that we all know of. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds people, Ilayhi al-Masir, if you can do that, you're all coming back to me. I'm giving you all of these commands, and know that you have to fulfill these things, because you're all coming back to me. You will be responsible for what you have done. And subhanAllah, I mean, all have to think, especially in young people, they're shouting parents today. Forget about respecting, they do the opposite. They shout. How can you shout at your parents? How can you be disrespectful to your parents? How is it possible? We have to recognize that who are our parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding all of us that we have to be thankful to our parents. Our parents. Subhanallah. But then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives another principle. He says, وَإِنْ جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَنْ تُشْرِكَ بِمَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. That, however, if they force you to ascribe partners to me about whom you have no knowledge of, then do not obey them. So this obedience of the parents is only until they are in sync with you in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If any of them, they say, to their daughters, you're not allowed to wear hijab. I respect you, but I'm sorry, but I can't follow you. If the parents, they force people to grow a beard, I respect you, but this is what my Prophet has commanded me. The parents are extremely sometimes, amazing. I know a person, subhanAllah, and he realized and he tried doing, he grew a beard, and the parents became so angry that, they ran after him with a razor on their hand. They wanted to shave his beard. People don't realize, they parents their kids. If kids are disrespecting their parents, it's their fault, and the parents are forcing their kids, that is causing any sort of disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is their fault. SubhanAllah, sometimes the kids that want, they shouldn't be any TV at home, they realize it's all rubbish, it's all filth, they go and tell their parents, please, take it out. They become angry. Their kids, who want to have a connection with the ulama, with mashayikh, and their parents become so angry. How come? They want to go to the talks, they want to go to the gatherings, they don't allow them. Why? This is because of this that they are respecting you. Otherwise, look at all of these kids, majority of the kids, the way that they are behaving with their parents. People don't recognize that, they don't realize that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they associate partners with me, that if they force you to be disobedient of me, that of Allah, then you do not obey them. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the highest priority. When it comes down, when you have to decide, there's a pressure, your peer pressure, or your parents, or your even kids, sometimes even kids pressurize their parents. Parents want to come on the right path, and then kids, they don't want it. Oh dad, what happened to you? You have been doing this all your life, what happened to you suddenly? You have become extremists. Now, subhanAllah, we have failed, we don't even, we cannot even define the extremism properly. What used to be in the middle, Sirat al-Mustaqim, now the people have gone so much away from the bulletin that this middle way has become the extreme. This was the proper dimensioning, and this thing was this in the middle. People have shifted that paradigm. Now it becomes come right into the extreme. And sometimes they feel, it's not even in the deen. It's a fitna of our time, unfortunately, but this is the times that we are living in. So that, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that if they force you, or they want that you do something in my disobedience and you do not follow them, then there was a natural thing that it was a possibility that the kids might become rude to their parents by saying no, or they want to go to the masjid, parents say, come on, why you're not allowed to go to the masjid? But I want to. No, you're not allowed to. It was a possibility that could have turned into an argument. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recognized this natural instinct of the human beings. And the next thing He said, but فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا, don't follow them, but وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا, but make sure that you respect them. Make sure that you remain with them in this world with fairness. Make sure you are not rude to them. You're not screaming at them, you're not shouting at them, despite of the fact that you're right and they're wrong. You do not have to obey them, but make sure you are fair with them. Make sure you're behaving well. You cannot say things which are disrespectful. You cannot. Look at Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam and his argument, his discussion with his father. It's amazing. He was an idol worshipper, and the way that he interacted with his father. We should read Quran. Why don't we read Quran now? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said after that, وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ, that follow the way of the one who has turned himself towards me. وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ. It's a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you follow those people who have connected themselves towards me. There are some people who say, this is a very common slogan of this time and age as well. Oh, you follow an Imam? Shirk. I only follow Allah as a messenger, Quran and Sunnah. So as if other people are, I don't know what they are following. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you follow people who turn towards me, who have their connections with me. You have to, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. What صراط المستقيم? صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. That oh Allah, guide me to the path of those people. أنعمت عليهم, that you have shown your favors on them. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Again, lack of understanding of deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيَّ. So we all should have teachers in our life. If we do not take teachers, if we do not get guidance from the people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this responsibility to, then we'll all be misguided. And all the misguidance out there is because of this fact. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent as a teacher. The Sahaba were the teachers. The Tabi'een were the teachers. The Taba Tabi'een were the teachers. All these people have learned their deen through teachers. And if people lose this fact, they feel that they can become their own teachers, the nafs can become their teachers, then the nafs la'ammaratun bis-su'. The nafs, if people have not worked on their nafs, then it's only will guide them towards bad. And then shaitan will come and grab them, and the nafs and shaitan will hold them together from both sides and throw them to the hellfire. وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ. You have to get your teachers that are people of Quran, people of Sunnah, people of Sharia, and then you hold their hands and you follow the path of these people. It's a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. And this is also the criteria, by the way, to take a teacher. You do not take a teacher who are misguided people, who are not the Quran and Sunnah. Who are not the people of Quran and Sunnah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the criteria that you have to follow the path of those man anaba ilayhi, who turn towards me, who are connected with me, who follow the Quran, who follow the Sunnah. This is the criteria of taking a teacher. Just both ways. It's to common people that you have to take a teacher, have to follow somebody, and this is the criteria that how you have to take your teacher or your shaykh, whatever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that at another place in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. That, oh people, the way that I made you is that you have to be in the company of the righteous people. You have to. That's the way that you are going to get taqwa in your life. The suhbah, the companionship of the people of Allah is extremely important. This is how Allah Ta'ala has made us. The company that we have, it affects us. If we feel that, we are not affected by the company that we keep, then we're not thinking right. Even people get affected by the company of the animals. That's why all the prophets, before they were made the prophets, they were grieving, they were shepherds. They were taking goats out and the sheep out to graze them. Why? Because the sheep has this quality that they're humble creatures. And because of living with the sheep, they also become humble. And there are many hadiths, right? Prophet ﷺ said that, you make sure you keep a good company because you are in the day of your company, of your friend. On the day of judgment, because of the friends, people will be thrown into the hellfire because they were in that company, and the company is peer pressure. All these kids to complain about that. There's so much peer pressure. How can I save myself? All of these, my friends, are dealing with drugs, with women, this and that. And it's so difficult for me to keep my iman, my deen, what to do. There is an effect, whatever you do. So to negate that, you have to take a company of the pious. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. Doing the righteous command and honor of Allah. وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ثُمَّ إِلَيَّ مَرْجِعُكُمْ فَأُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Then know that all of you are returning back to me, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell each and every single one of you that what did you do in your life. I gave you a few commands, I gave you a book, I sent you a messenger, I sent you teachers, I sent you people who guided you, I gave you the message. What did you do? And everybody will be judged according to his situation. There's not one scale, everybody's scale is different. Everybody will be judged according to the condition that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put him in. If somebody is poor, he will be judged according to his condition. If somebody is rich, he will be judged according to his condition. One will be judged according to his condition, one will be judged according to their conditions. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't think that you are just here like for playing and enjoying. This is a life that you have been given. It's an examination hall that you are all being tested and you are all returning back to me. Know that, remember that. And I'll ask you, what did you do? الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. That I created life and death so that I can test you who comes back to me with good actions. This is what this life is all about. أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. You think that you have been just created in vain and you are not returning back to me? What do you think? All that you are thinking about, what I'm going to eat in the next meal. All that you are thinking is, how can I make my 10,000 pounds in my bank? How I'm going to pay my mortgage of the house. How I'm going to get my next car. That's what all people are thinking. They've forgotten that the purpose of the life is far bigger than that. We are all going back to our Lord one day and we will be judged as to what did we do in this life. We have all been given some commands by Allah. We all were supposed, we are all Allah, we are all slaves of Allah. And we are supposed to be living as if we are prisoners. We are not like free people. We are slaves of Allah. We are in prison. Ad-dunya sijnul mu'min. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, this dunya is a prison for a believer. Wajannat al-kafir. If people don't believe, then it's paradise for them. They can be free. They can do whatever they want. But for a believer, no. Each and every second we are accountable. How do we talk to people? How do we talk to our wives? How do we talk to our husbands? How do we move around in the community? How do we lower our gaze? How do we use our eyes? How do we use our tongue? How do we use our ears? When a certain situation comes in, how do we behave? Every single thing we will be judged because we have been given guidance for every situation. فَأُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. I will ask you, but what did you do? I will tell you that what you have been doing all your life. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes back to the advices, to the hikmah, to the words of wisdom of Sayyidina Luqman alayhi salam. He says, يَا بُنَيَّ إِنَّهَا إِن تَكُ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ فَتَكُنْ فِي صَخْرَةٍ أَوْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ أَوْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يَأْتِ بِهَا اللَّهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَطِيفٌ خَبِيرٌ. He said, my son, oh my dear son, in fact, if there be anything to the measure of a grain of rye, and it be hidden in a rock, or in the heavens, or in the earth, Allah will bring it forth. Sayyidina Luqman alayhi salam is advising his son as to about the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's making that yaqeen in the heart of his son. He's giving him the true belief of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's saying that, my son, if there be anything to the measure of a grain of rye that is very, very small, and if it is even hidden in a rock, or in the heavens, or in the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring it forth. So if we feel that, we'll do a few things and Allah will not know it, then it's wrong. is a phenomena in this world. And this phenomena is the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed this world. Is this world, all of this world and everything that we have around us is like a video camera. It is recording each and every single thing that we are doing. This earth, these walls, this ceiling, this roof, the streets, the trees, every single thing is recording. And so easy to understand now. Just imagine Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they accepted that, without even thinking, what does it mean, how is it possible? They had that certainty in their hearts, the yaqeen in their hearts. Now it's easier for us to understand. These video cameras, these closed circuit cameras, right? You record everything. You try to go and, not try, but people who try to steal in the supermarkets, they put those cameras and it's so easy to catch them. Everything is being recorded. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way that He has created this earth is that every single thing is like a video camera. And every single thing will be witness on the day of judgment. Every single thing will be a witness on the day of judgment, either for us or against us. If we have prayed on this musalla, this will be witness for us on the day of judgment. Ya Allah, this person, he made a sajda on me, I am his witness. Ya Allah, this person, he went to that place to give in charity, to that place where you have actually given it, that thing that are around that place, they will be witness for that person. Ya Allah, I've seen him giving this charity, even that he was hiding from all the people, he was very secretive, he was doing it with full sincerity, I am his witness. And if people go to places like any other place, like Mars, and they hide from their parents and from their wives, go there and nobody's looking at me, know that all that place that's around us and the earth that they are walking on, it will be their witness. Ya Allah, I am his witness. He did come unto me. He did drink here. He spent that night here. I am the witness. Just to show to people, so that people can't say anything to Allah. Ya Allah, I didn't do that. Look, all these witnesses. يَوْمَ تُحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا بِأَنَّ رَبَّكَ أَوْحَى لَهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that on that day, then the earth will give all of the news. All of the news. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inspire the earth, will give it, like it's outhouse, a revelation, wahi, that will give the inspiration to the earth. Earth, tell me, what happened on you? That will be a day where will be pure justice will happen. Nobody will be able to oppress anybody on that day. Nobody will be able to say, today possibly we can go to the courts and we can take false oaths, right? And then maybe lie. But on that day nobody will be able to lie because everything will be presented in front of his own eyes. Every single thing that we do, there are two angels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has appointed who are writing every single thing that we do in our lives. We feel nobody is looking. Of course Allah is looking, and He's also appointed two angels that are writing every single thing. Every single thing that we do, angels are writing. Every single word that we speak, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has appointed an angel that is writing. مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. Not a word come out of our mouth, but there is an angel who is ready to write it down. They are all witnesses. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. يَوْمَئِذٍ يَصْدُرُ النَّاسُ أَشْتَاتًا لِيُرَوْا أَعْمَالَهُمْ. That on that day, when all men will come forward, cut off from one another, and they will be shown their past deeds. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. If you have done a small, little atom's weight of good, you will see that. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. And whoever has done a small, little atom's weight of bad deed, he will see that. We cannot lie on that day. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has even made our skins. We will be witness against her for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that. حتى إذا ما جاءوها شهد عليهم سمعهم وأبصارهم وجلودهم بما كانوا يعملون. Do you know when they come close to it, their hearing and their sight and their skins will bear witness against them, speaking of what they were doing on the earth. The skin, the eyes that we look at all of these people that we shouldn't be looking at, these eyes will speak on that. Ya Allah, he looked at that person with me. Ya Allah, he touched that woman with me. The skin will speak. These ears will speak. Ya Allah, he heard the backbiting. Ya Allah, he heard the music. Ya Allah, he heard all of those filthy things. That lewd talk. Ya Allah, I am witness against him. And the person will say, oh, why are you doing that? You know, I touched that woman because I wanted pleasure for you. I heard those music because I wanted, you know, to give joy to you, O ear. I looked at that person so that I wanted to give joy to you, O eye. Why are you witnessing against me? وَقَالُوا لِجُلُودِهِمْ لَمَا شَهِدتُّمْ عَلَيْنَا. And he will say, Allah Ta'ala saying in the Quran, he will ask their skins, why did you bear witness against us? قَالُوا أَنْتَقَنَا اللَّهُ الَّذِي أَنْتَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. The skins will say, you know, you did whatever you did and you're blaming on us that I did it for you. You did it for you, the desires of your animalistic desires of your nafs. You wanted to satisfy your nafs al-ammara. That's why you did that. And today we are speaking just, Allah Ta'ala has given us power of speech just like He gives power of speech to anybody. I mean, Allah's always we are speaking, you know. وَهُوَ خَلَقَكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. And He has created you the first time, and to Him is your return. Quran will be witness. Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Qur'anu hujjatul laka aw alayka. The Quran will be either a witness for you or against you. This Quran. That we only put it on our shelves and never get the tawfiq to open it up and read. This will bear witness either for us or against us. It will say, Ya Allah, He made those beautiful coverings and He wrapped me and He put it on the top of His shelf and never opened me. Ya Allah, I'm witnessing against this person. He never opened me up and read me. Ya Allah, many Ramadan came in his life and he never got the tawfiq to read me cover to cover. Ya Allah, even when he was reading, he was reciting all of his verses and all of the commandments that you gave to him through me. Ya Allah, he never even thought about acting on those commandments. And also the other side, Ya Allah, it's coming in the hadith. Quran will witness, will become a witness. Ya Allah, I stopped him for sleeping at night. Ya Allah, I am his intercessor. Please accept my Allah. Prophet ﷺ says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept the intercession of the Quran. You want to think about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Sayyidina Luqman alayhi salam, these words of wisdom that He's giving to His son, Ya bunayya, إنها إن تكن مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأتي به الله إن الله لطيف خبير. Allah knows every single thing. Know that. Allah knows the thoughts that go through your minds. Allah knows what you do. You think you can cheat people, you cannot cheat Allah. You never can cheat Allah. Allah knows every single thing. He knows your hearts. يَعْلَمُ خَائِنَةُ الْأَعْيُنِ وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ. He knows the mistrust of the eye when it doesn't look properly at the proper places. And He knows وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ and what's hidden in your hearts. then Sayyidina Luqman alayhi salam moved on. He said, Ya bunayya, oh my dear son, aqim as-salah, establish prayer. And think about this, that all of these things, I mean, of course we have heard that, but what we are thinking, we're trying to understand is that these are all words of wisdom. These are the things that are khayran kaseer. Every single one of these. Shukr. Not having any sort of shirk. Knowing, having muraqabah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That being aware, watching over your heart, that if it has the awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these are all words of wisdom. And then, aqim as-salah. Establish prayer. And subhanAllah, I don't know that how can we talk about this thing, because this is not the first time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying aqim as-salah. More than 700 times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this small little book, it's really small book, more than 700 times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying aqim as-salah, aqim as-salah, aqim as-salah. Allah is saying, and still it comes further time when we're sleeping. The Muazzin is calling hayya ala salah. It's not a Muazzin calling, it's Allah Ta'ala calling. Hayya ala salah, come to the prayer. Hayya ala falah, because it's the success, it's your falah. And then we are sleeping. And at the further time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to Muazzin to add a couple of more words. As-salatu khayrun min an-nawm. Oh person, why are you sleeping? This prayer is better than your sleep. Come, what are you doing? It's your success. Success is not in your sleeping. And we don't even care. We don't even care. It's so common to miss at least Fajr. At least Fajr. Frequently people come and say, I'm in a meeting, this time to this time, can I join my prayers? What? I asked him one question, and I always ask this question, back to them, and they understand it. And I asked them, if you have to go to the toilet, will you go to the toilet when you're in a meeting? He said, yes. Always, every single person I've said this to, this person, every single one of them have said yes. I said, if you can go to the toilet, and nobody's going to mind that, nobody's going to say anything, why can't you go out for 5 minutes and just pray real quick? Why? Because people have not taken it as a command. People have not realized what prayer is. This prayer is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted to us as ummah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in his proximity, He gave him that much ikram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of that ikram, He gifted the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with these 5 daily prayers. Just imagine you call somebody, one of your beloved to your house that you love very much. And you call, not only you call him, but you love him so much that you want to give him a gift. Because of your extreme love for him. You don't want to, like that he goes back empty-handed. So this is my gift for you out of my love. And Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the beloved of Allah, he's Habibullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he was brought in the proximity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called him in his presence. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted this prayer to him. It's a gift, and people think it's a burden. Leaving one prayer is more sinful than drinking alcohol. Leaving one prayer is more sinful than eating pork. We all hate drinking. I hope, that we all hate pork. We all hate fornication. We all hate all of these big so-called kabair. They are kabair, but people have failed to understand that leaving a prayer is the biggest kabir. It's amazing what has happened to our intellects. Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, at some places He has mentioned the conversation that will happen between the people of paradise and people of the hellfire. In one place Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that conversation, that the people of paradise will ask that what has made you from the people of hellfire? مَا سَلَكَكُمْ فِي سَقَرٍ? Why are you in Saqar? This is one of the valleys of the hellfire. They will say, قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُمْ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. We didn't used to pray. When people, they don't pray, in other words, they are being arrogant in front of Allah. They refuse to do sajda in front of Allah, in other words. And you show arrogance to Allah. يا بني أقم الصلاة وأمر بالمعروف وانهى عن المنكر. I said, oh my son, command people of good and stop them from bad. That you should be the ones who should be encouraging people towards good. And if you see something bad happening, then you should tell people with wisdom, with hikmah, friend, ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'izati al hasana. Not that you slap to somebody, what are you doing? It's so amazing. SubhanAllah, I was in Chicago. I used to live in Chicago before moving to Dubai. And SubhanAllah, a new Muslim, Allah Ta'ala gives people tawfiq to convert to Islam, and of course it also happens in all of these non-Muslim countries. He's coming for the first day in the masjid. No Muslim. And of course he has the same attire. He's wearing his earrings, and he's wearing his tight jeans, and the first day he's coming in the masjid, the people were dragging. Where shalwar kameez? As if the shalwar kameez is the sign of Islam. As the Prophet ﷺ is wearing shalwar kameez. Okay, very modest dress, there is sunnah as well, but it's inviting with hikmah. You're saying, you have tattoos, haram. What can you do, poor guy, man? He's tattooed now, he cannot do anything anymore. How can he remove his tattoos? Earrings, take it off. It's first day. You're pushing that person out of the masjid. This is not the way to call people towards good. People do not have that wisdom anymore. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what is that? إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ. Call people towards the path of Allah with wisdom. You have to learn wisdom. Not everybody can just do everything. You have to learn it. There is a common thing, mashallah, the people in Jamaat, they go out and may Allah protect them and accept them. They already accepted, mashallah. But the thing is that there's a general calling, but there's a specific calling as well. That's why the specific calling is limited to the people who are trained for it. The ulama and the mashayikh, they're trained for all. The ulama are responsible for teaching people the outer fiqh, and the mashayikh are trained to teach people the inner fiqh, the fiqh of the heart, to develop them spiritually. They are their specialities. Not everybody can start doing. So people have to learn how to call people towards deen. So yes, وَأْمِرْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَانْهَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ, that with wisdom. وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَكَ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ مِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. And then he said that when you are going to take that task, know that it's not an easy road. There are a lot of hurdles. Every single prophet who called people to deen, everybody had hurdles. Everybody has obstacles. We look into the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Subhanallah. The way that he was given all these afflictions, there was nobody who was given that many afflictions. Just imagine, we don't reflect on his seerah. We read all of the stories, but we don't reflect on that. The fact that, he's doing sajda. And your own people, they turn so much against you, they take this fat of the candles and put it on your head. It's so heavy you cannot move. If my friend, he doesn't talk to me properly, just doesn't talk to me properly, and I have expectations from him, I get so much pain in my heart. How come he didn't talk to me properly? And then his own people are doing this thing to him. Just imagine the feelings of his heart. Everybody is calling him As-Sadiq, Al-Amin. And suddenly he's saying, say La ilaha illallah. And suddenly he's A'udhu Billah, he's Al-Majnoon, he's Sha'ir, he's Qadib, he's this, he's that. Why? Because this is the Sunnah. It does happen. He's going to Taif with a lot of expectations. My people didn't hear me, didn't listen to me. Let me go and try another town. Let me try Warsaw. Maybe people will listen to me. MashaAllah, may Allah give all of you ajr who are sitting. What if all of you were throwing stones at me? Imagine what my state would have been. I've come all the way and all of you have gathered together throwing stones at me. And he's bleeding. And he's holding his blood that it may not fall on the ground, but because it falls on the ground, and Allah Ta'ala will inflict His punishment upon them. And here it comes. Ya Rasulullah, if you allow me, I'm the angel that is responsible for the mountains. I will join these two mountains, and these people will be crushed. He said, no. Don't do that. Maybe their generations will be obedient to Allah. وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَكَ. Be patient. When you're going to call people towards deen, there will be people who will turn against you. There will be people who will be saying things. But you have to be patient. وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ. This is the message that Allah Ta'ala gave the Prophet ﷺ. Be patient on whatever they tell you. And this patience, what time is it? 8 o'clock is prayer. Inshallah, what time do we call adhan? Quarter to, inshallah. I'll try to finish at quarter, inshallah, then we'll dua between adhan and iqamah, inshallah. I'm getting water. This patience is a big virtue of the heart. And we all have to have this quality of the heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written a lot of reward for the people of patience. إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the people who patiently persevere will truly receive a reward without measure. بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. There's not even a count. You give them charity, you get 10 times, or 700 times, or 70 times. When people are patient, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there's no count, there's no times. بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. And from His treasures are never ending. There are many ayahs. There are many ayahs that talks about the patience. Fasting is also patience, by the way. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this hadith, As-Salaam li wa ana ajzi bihi. Everything is a reward that's written, but this fasting is for me. And I am the one who will give the reward. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't mention what sort of reward. Oh, it's a surprise. You want to really reward somebody? Right? You're really happy with somebody? You don't want to tell him, what I'm going to give you. And you give him beyond his expectations. That's what it is. And a soul will be all the reward. Just we'll see on that day. Because fasting is also patience. That is one of the reasons that ulama say. وَالصَّابِرِينَ فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَحِينَ الْبَأْسِ أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ. The people who remain firm and patient in pain and suffering, and through all periods of panic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, these are the people who are on truth. These are people who have taqwa. These are the Allah-fearing people. Sabr, just to talk a little bit about sabr. It can be mandatory. Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi in Ihya al-Ulum, he mentions that. Because sabr can be mandatory, it can be optional, or it can be disallowed. It can be disallowed as well. For example, if somebody comes, a robber comes and tries to cut your hand, then you don't say, oh, I'll do sabr, please cut my hand. That becomes disallowed at that time. Then you become firm. You fight back. That's what the fighting back is. That if people want to harm you with something, with your deen, with your whatever, with your nafs, then you, of course, you repel that. There's no sabr at that time. Right? It can be optional, that you know that if somebody, for example, kills your family member, I would be just giving it an example, and you have the right to take revenge, but you forgive that person or take revenge, whatever, that's your choice. But if you do not take revenge and if you forgive him for the sake of Allah, you do sabr, it's a great reward for that. It's an optional thing. But at other places it becomes mandatory. It becomes mandatory. People are commanded to do sabr. There's also sabr which is mandatory in controlling oneself. This nafs that we have, it, as I said, it has animalistic desires. And it wants to do a few things because it still has not been developed. People have not taken the path. People have not started working on themselves. It still is a marat misu. It is like inclined towards sin, towards all of this disobedience of Allah. Wants to become live like an animal. So when people start developing on themselves, they take the first step, it is very hard. And people who have worked on themselves know it. You know, I'm always looking, staring at these people walking around me. Now that I've been given tawfiq, I've been told this by my shaykh, and you know, make sure you control your gaze. You know, the first time I'm going out after taking that nasiha, these people walking around, I just want to look at them. But I just keep my gaze down. It's very hard, first time. True? It is hard. But you have to be patient. I tell my friends, when they come and tell me, especially young friends, it's very hard. I go to my university, I go to my college, all of these girls walking around, half or full naked, whatever. It is so hard. You know, when I try to lower my gaze down, it's so hard on my heart. I tell them, just you have to lower that. Even if you feel that you're going to get a heart attack, doesn't matter. Take it with patience. You're not going to get a heart attack, believe me. If it's hard, be patient. There's patience in controlling the desire of the nafs. But people have to cross that stage. There's no easy way out. إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي. Allah Ta'ala can be merciful to whoever He wants. And He can take people through stages without any of these mujahidas. But naturally, for common people, this is what happens. You want to shout back at your wife. She hasn't really done what you were asking her to do. Nafs says that, get angry, shout back. Just tell her. Doesn't she know who am I? الرجال قوامون على النساء. Don't even know what this ayah means. They're responsible for the women. They're not their slaves. And then now that you have to be nice with your wife, really getting angry. But I have to be patient. I have to be patient. It's hard on my nose, but I have to control. This is patience. It's patience in controlling oneself. And also the other thing, if people get blessings, people become arrogant. To control yourselves, not to get arrogant, not to get overjoyed, this also requires patience. It's not easy when people are developing themselves. Using the tongue properly, it requires patience. And especially if the calamity falls, accidents, deaths, diseases, people really lose patience at that time. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants that we be patient in those times as well. We are not supposed to scream, shout, become animals. We are believers. We have to be patient. We have to know Wallahu yaqbidu wa yabsut wa ilayhi turja'un. We have to know that fact. That Allah Ta'ala is the one who takes away and who gives. Health, wealth, money, conditions, whatever. Right? And it's not easy, by the way. But we have to do it. This is what our life is about. It's not that we cannot do it, let's not do it. It's not a choice. Allah Ta'ala wants that we become patient people. This is life. Allah Ta'ala, we are in an examination hall. When we are going through this paper of our life, this question paper, first question might be very easy. Second, maybe a little difficult. There might be a challenge question in between. It's very tough. But every question has 10 points. This question has 100 points. If you passed, if you are successful in this question, you can really get a lot of pleasure, lot of reward. We don't have a choice. There's no option. It's not that you can attempt like 10 out of 20. You have to attempt every single question. This is the examination of our life. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ I will test you. Right? Allah Ta'ala says, with fear. You will have fear sometimes. Oh no. Go to South Africa, southern places. You cannot go out without a gun. Because you have fear that anybody can come here and rob me at any time. We have been to South Africa. Even at some parts of Chicago that I'm coming from, there's certain part of Chicago, when you go there, you'll see bullets on the walls. You're always scared, what will happen. Go and look at some places. You don't even know when there'll be a bomb blast somewhere. People are so scared of their lives. SubhanAllah. If we are living in peace, it's a blessing of Allah. We should be thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the peace that He has given us. Look at some places where Allah Ta'ala says, I will test some people with khawf, with fear. وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ and taking away their wealth. Suddenly they'll lose in their business. Oh, they had like 100,000 pounds in their bank balances, suddenly they lost it. They become 30,000. It's a test. Things happen. Oh, I lost in my business and it's not coming to the masjid. Why don't you come to the masjid? Oh, I'm not doing good in my business. Allahu Akbar. Well, emphasis. Sometimes it will test you with the loss of your lives. Oh, my grandma died. Oh, my husband died. It's the test. What's the marat? And it will test you with, you lose some fruits, some good things. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ Give glad tidings to the people who do sabr in all of these calamities. These were the challenge questions given to them. Give glad tidings to the people who scored 100 points in that exam, in that question. Who are those people? الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ Whenever they are afflicted with a calamity, قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ That they know why it's coming. They know it's from Allah, the test from Allah. And they say, إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ We are from Allah, we are going back to Allah. If there's a test that was given to us, we are patient. This is the response of a believer at the calamity. And every small little thing that you don't like, you're not in life, is a calamity sort of. And if you say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, you get the reward. Prophet ﷺ, once he was in his house, and there was a lamp, and the air blew, and the lamp, it went off. Prophet ﷺ said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And said Aisha, I think it was so, she said, why did you say that? He said, it's sort of a calamity. People even get reward, comes in the hadith, that if they have put something in their right pocket, for example, and they forgot that it was in the right pocket and they're searching for it in the left pocket. And this small little pain in their heart that they get, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even rewards them for being patient on that. And some other people, oh my God, where is that? Start calling names and becoming animals. You are believers, my friends. أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم. Allahu Akbar. But these people, but they are the ones who get blessings from Allah. ورحمة أولئك هم المهتدون. SubhanAllah, I don't want to stop. It's come in the Hadith Qudsi in Muwatta of Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi. He said, when I put any calamity on my servant and he remains patient and does not complain with the people who visit him, I change his flesh with the better flesh, and I change his blood with the better blood, and I give him health and he doesn't have any sin remaining on him, and when I give him death, I cover him with my mercy. It doesn't mean that people don't feel the pain. Feeling of the pain is natural. It's not disallowed to feel the pain. What is disallowed is to go out of the bounds of Sharia, complaining, shouting, screaming, tearing clothes, hitting oneself. This is not what is allowed. Prophet ﷺ, when his beautiful blessed son, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he passed away, Prophet ﷺ had tears in his eyes. The Sahaba asked him, they were learning, Ya Rasulullah, you are not content with the qadr of Allah? He said, no. He said that, my heart is sad, and my eyes have tears, but I will only say what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to say. He didn't have any complaint, but he had tears in his eyes. This is the response of a believer. And now, and I'll end with that inshallah. Don't have time to go. The others, and the last two, that's fine inshallah. That when people are afflicted with calamities, any hardship, and if people remain patient and they try to attempt that challenge question, and if they pass, know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes that calamity and changes that with twice the blessings. The proof is from Quran Azim al-Shan. Inna ma'al usri yusra, inna ma'al usri yusra. Same ayah repeated twice together. Ulama say, with every hardship there is an ease. With every hardship there is an ease. So with every hardship there come two eases. All that we have to do is to be patient. If Allah Ta'ala sends any calamity on us, and another thing, some people what they do is they ask for patience. Ya Allah, give me patience, give me patience. Somebody was asking Allah, give me patience. Prophet ﷺ said, what you are actually doing is you are inviting the calamities. Because you will only be patient when you will be inflicted with calamities. So don't ask for patience, ask for afiyah. Ask for protection. We all should ask for protection. We are very weak people. We are not the people who can take any of the calamities or any of the difficulties in our life. We should always ask for goodness, good things. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. This is the dua that we have been taught. We should not ask for calamities, not ask for patience, not ask for any bad things. But if it comes, then be patient. If it is written in our qadr and our taqdeer, then remain patient. And know that there are a lot of reward with patience. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends His help when people are patient. So inshallah we'll finish here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us tawfiq that whatever we have been able to talk about and we have listened to, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we put it into our hearts and act on it for the rest of our lives. And may Allah ta'ala reward all of you who have been patient. MashaAllah, for the last 2 hours. Inshallah, I know it's not easy listening for 2 hours, but may Allah ta'ala reward all of you. And please, I request you for dua, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Wa akhiru da'wana. And alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Inshallah, after the azan, we'll make dua, inshallah. So.